Thank you. Good morning, class.
Good morning, sir.
It's a privilege as we start our classes. Um, Welcome all of you and our viewers on the YouTube. We welcome you this morning to our first class for the year 2019, Acts of the Apostle. We will be doing a little study on the book, and it's a course that lasts for 1 year. So it's a 1 year course, and we will be taking our time to go through what is important. As we know, the book of Acts is a very important book, as well as all the books of the Bible. Let us go to God in prayer. Our righteous and eternal Father God, we truly thank you for this opportunity. We ask, O Lord, that you bless us, that you guide us and keep us, O Lord. What we are about to study, O Lord, that you will help us, O Lord, to understand your words, understand your book, so that we'll be able to make the application and that we can learn from it, and then we can continue to practice what was taught by the apostles and taught to us. Father, guide us and keep us. Be with our students, be with me, as we all work together for the good cause of men, saving their souls. To your Son, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen. Okay, so we're looking at the book of Acts. Starting off with our introduction, we need to understand what is the book all about. In order to understand the gospel and the epistles, we need to look at the book of Acts. In fact, to get a better understanding of what the book of Acts teaches, we are going to be seeing from time to time different books of the Bible bring together or bring back the idea of what has happened in the book of Acts. So the book of Acts is basically called church history. It gives us, and it tells us that the church started and then we start to get from history. So we are going to be looking at different books because it's the only way that we'll be able to understand what God has been teaching us. The book of Acts as a bridge or a link that shows the connection between the two. That is, in Acts we can gather more information about the situation that transpired in the four gospels as well as within the epistle. For example, a bridge, we understand what a bridge is really. A bridge connects two locations. All right? Yeah. So if you want to go to point A and you want to leave point B to go to point A, what you have to do, you need a bridge to bring you from point B to take you to point A. And if you want to go to Z, you're going to need what? A bridge that connects, or a bridge that gap between A and Z. Yeah. All right? So there's no way you'll be able to get to Z unless there's a bridge that connects both A and Z, that brings you together. And that is what a bridge is really all about. In example, when we look at the book of John, chapter 15, reading verse number 27, please. I hope that you all have your Bibles with you because we're going to be using our Bibles to help us to understand better the Word of God. In John chapter 15, reading verse number 27, what it says. And he also, go on.
And he also shall bear witness, because he hath been with me from the beginning.
Okay. Now, in order to understand what John was really talking about, the apostles were witness. All right? The apostles were witness of the things Christ did from the very beginning. We know that it's talking about the apostles being with Christ from the very beginning, right? Okay, but in order to prove what was said, the book of Acts is going to bridge that gap for us. It's going to close it up. It's going to take us from John, and then when we go into the book of Acts, it's going to take you to the book of Acts. That what it's going to do now is going to show you that it's that John is really talking about the apostles. Based on what he said, and he also shall bear witness. We have an idea that he's talking about somebody, but you really want to know who he's really talking about? Go into Acts chapter 1. Acts chapter 1 and verse number 8. What it says in Acts chapter 1 and verse number 8, it tells us, and he shall be witness unto me both in Jerusalem, and we know that the witness that Jesus Christ, after his resurrection, he's telling the apostles that they are going to be witness of me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and to the other part of the world. So we know, based on the book of Acts, that he's talking to the apostles. That's how we are going to be bridging the gap. That is how we are going to be using the book of Acts to help us to understand the four gospels and the epistle. All right? We know it says in Acts, it's telling us who are the witnesses. Because the witness is important. We need to know who he's talking about. You understand? You get what I'm saying? Good. In Isaiah chapter 2, just another example. Going into the Old Testament. The Old Testament, Isaiah is a prophet who prophesied about many things. And in fact, about the coming of Christ and the starting of the church in Jerusalem. In Isaiah chapter 2, verse 1 to 3, we are going to look at verse 3. It says, it states three facts, three important facts that is important. So important. It tells us the prophecy would be what? Fulfilled in the last days. And we know when we go into the book of Acts, it's going to show us that they were in the last days. He said, all nations will flow unto it. It will have what? It will have its beginning in Jerusalem, which was all accomplished in the book of Acts. So the book of Acts is helping us to do what? To bridge the gap. A space that was left there. We want to go to point B from point A. Point B would be the book of Acts that help us to get across. All right? So that is something that we need to bear in mind. The author of the book of Acts is none other than we know is Gentlemen, please. Did you read the book of Acts? Because it's important for you. So when you know that you're going to be, you're going to have a subject coming up for you to learn. It's important for you to look on the book so that when you come to class, you can have a basic understanding.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
But remember, in class, we are not going to be able to teach you everything. We are just opening your eyes to a basic understanding so that you will have the tools that you need to do what? To go and do your own research on your own. Because that is all you're going to learn. So we are only pointing you to the way.
Yes.
We are giving you some instruction. We are pointing you to where you need to go.
Yes.
We're helping you to understand the basic tools that you need to have. All right. So the book of Acts was written by Luke. Luke, how we know that? Turn to the book of Acts, chapter 1. Read verse 1. You find it?
The former account I made Theophilus
Theophilus.
Of all that Jesus did, but to do and teach. Finish.
Go on.
Until the day in which he was taken up. After that, he, through the Holy Ghost, had given commandment unto the apostles whom he had chosen.
Okay.
To whom also he threw himself alive after his passion by many infallible proof.
Yes. Go on.
Infallible proof. Being seen of them 40 days, and speaking of the things pertaining to the kingdom of God, and being assembled together with them, commanded them that they should not depart from Jerusalem.
All right, so the book was written to Theophilus, giving him information about what had transpired, because Theophilus wanted to know more about. He wanted to know who is this person that we were talking about. Now, look at the name Theophilus. Sorry, go ahead and read verse 1 again. Read verse 1 again. Verse 1.
Trees.
The what?
The farmer trees.
Treatise.
Have I made. Theophilus.
Oh, Theophilus. In other words, he's saying that I have written this account to you. I have done my research, and I am certain that the research that I am passing on, the information that I'm passing on to you, is true. All right? Look at Luke chapter 1 now. Luke chapter 1, what it says?
Verse 1.
Yes.
For as much as many have taken in hand to set forth in order the declaration of those things which are most surely believed amongst us. Even as they deliver them
information that you, Theophilus, you have heard. You have heard something, and I'm taking the time out to make sure that what we have heard, what we have seen, the information what we have received is true. Go on, verse 2.
Even as they deliver them unto us, which from the beginning were eyewitness.
So, information that the author received, he did his research, he went out, he seek, he talked to individuals, he talked to eyewitnesses, getting the information. Getting the information because he's an individual who wants to make sure that whatever information you have heard, I have done my research. Therefore, you can trust what I am writing, what I'm writing. Go on.
And the ministers of the word. It seems good to me also.
Yes.
Having had perfect understanding of all things from the very first, to write unto thee in order, most excellent.
The same individual that this person is writing to, the information that he is passing on to this individual is suggesting or telling us that it's the same author. The same writer who wrote the book of Luke is the same writer who wrote the book of Acts. Because what? The information that he's gathering, he's gathering that information to pass on to Theophilus. We don't know much about Theophilus. We know that he's someone, a dignitary, because the person, right? Most excellent Theophilus.
I was just going to ask you, who is that person?
Well, we don't have much information, whether it's biblically or secularly, history. It doesn't talk much about him. We just know that the writer, the author of the book of Luke and the book of Acts, is trying to set in order information that he has received to pass on to Theophilus. All right, see, notice what he said before. It seems good to me, also having had perfect understanding, suggesting to us that Theophilus may have contacted him as a good friend. Because based on how they are talking, sound as if they are good friends. Alright? Do you know anything about this person that they are talking about? This Christ who has been performing miracles, doing all these wonderful signs and so on. You have any information about it? I want to know more about it. Because I have heard that he died and was raised from the dead and was seen by many people. I mean, all this information. So therefore, it seems good to the author of the book of Luke to do what? To write to this person, because he's saying he had all perfect understanding of all things from the very first, to write unto you in order. So the questions that were asked, he's doing them, he's putting them in order, and he said, "Oh, most excellent Theophilus, that you might know certainly of those things in which you have been instructed." There was in the days, now going on now, start at a particular point, in the days of Herod, the king of Judah, a certain priest named Zachariah. Now, if you go into the book of Luke, chapter 2, it will tell you about Zachariah, who was a priest of that time, who was given the right to go into the temple and to prepare the sacrifice and himself, so that he can present himself to God on behalf of the people. Yes, go ahead.
I see Theophilus. I see that in the Acts. After that, I see that in Luke.
Yes.
I want to know the information that he received. What about the information? The information. He received the Jesus Christ or the Paul.
He received Jesus Christ.
Yeah, if from Jesus Christ he gave Theophilus this information.
The writer, which is Luke, gave information to Theophilus about Christ and the apostles and what they had did. This is what he's actually doing in a particular order. All right. So when you look at in Luke, if you turn to the book of Luke chapter 2, read verse Luke chapter 2, because what you're seeing now is the order in which the information is coming out. Luke chapter 2 tells us about Zachariah, a priest who was preparing himself to go into the temple on behalf of the people. And this is where the authors start to give information to Theophilus. He said, there was at a while in the days of Herod, the king of Judah, a certain priest named Zachariah, of the course of Abia, and his wife was a daughter of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. And they were both righteous before God, walking in all the commandments and ordinances of the Lord, blameless, and they had no child, because Elizabeth was barren, and they both were known well advanced in years. So these two persons, Zachariah and Elizabeth, were well advanced in years. So therefore it seemed as if they would not be able to have any children. Alright? But if you go into the book of Luke now, it tells you what transpired. In the book of Luke, it tells you what transpired. Chapter 1, going all the way down to chapter 2. You understand?
Yes.
So what Luke is doing now is putting things in a particular order so that Theophilus would have the information, the accurate information going on. Accurate information about this Christ who they are now talking about. Alright?
Yes.
So we're saying now the book of Acts is bridging the information, it's giving us the information that will help us to better understand the four gospels, which is Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Yes.
And the epistles that were written, most were written by Paul, right? But the epistle, and in these epistles, what we see is information, things that happen over the course of time. And what we see is that we're seeing these things in the book of Acts. We're seeing them in Acts, so we are now able to get a broader and a better picture of the whole. Alright?
Yes.
Good. So Luke is the author of the book of Acts. Both the Gospel of Luke and the book of Acts are written in a form that is called volume. It's written in a form that is called volume. Now, volume 1 and volume 2. They are also normally referred to as what? A part 1 or part 2 of the work of Jesus. Alright? So bear that in mind. So it's 2 books.
Yeah.
And this is how they are normally referred to. Volume. Alright, so you have part 1 and part 2. Luke is part 1, Acts is part 2. Both books are similar in content, style, and structure. Particular order. Maybe based on certain questions that was asked by Theophilus. The information that is given now, what Luke did now is did his research. And you probably can consider Luke to be an historian. Alright, he's a doctor, called to the certain books, guess in the book of Acts also referred to him as a lawyer. But he is a historian, a writer who did his research. Authors must do research. Authors, if they are going to write a book, you have to do certain research. Because the topic on which you're going to write about, you must know and have information about that particular topic. You never see a writer go and write a book and don't have information. Because he will look stupid. Alright? Good. So this writer obviously has done his work, his research. The name of Luke means lover of God. It is a Latin name short for Lucanus. Okay? So then call him Lucanus in Latin. Yes. In English, you see it means Luke, which means lover of God. He is supposed to be a native of Syrian, and Greek, according to 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 11. And you find that passage from please let us look at it. If he speaks Greek.
Luke.
Luke, yeah man. 2 Timothy. In 2 Timothy chapter 4, what is it? 2 Timothy.
Only Luke is with me. Take Mark and bring him with thee, for he is profitable to me for the ministry.
Alright. So you Paul now saying that Luke. So now one reason you need to bear in mind why Luke can say he has first-hand information because he was there.
Yeah.
You understand? And so notice it said, only Luke is with me, take Mark and bring him with you. So no, he's now ready to work in this area. It is possible that he was what? A proselyte, because he's a Greek individual. And you know what a proselyte is, right, gentlemen? Apostolate. Who will call apostolate?
A believer of Christ.
Yes, he's a believer of Christ, but more than that, real reason why he's called or considered to be apostolate. Anybody have any idea? You know what? You're going to do the research on that. This is what the class is all about, gentlemen. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Good. And remember, you're not going to be able, or I am not going to be able to teach you everything. You learn based on your study and the research that you do. Because if I teach you it now, the chances are, if you don't go home and review what was taught in class, you're not going to get it. So when you go home, you review what was taught, and at the same time, you're going to be doing your research. You're going to have your Bible and other books around you, looking up and trying to get what was said, because you need to see for yourself. The book of Acts talks about the Bereans. Oh, they searched the scriptures to see what Paul was saying, if it was so. So they just didn't just hear and take what he said. All right? Good. It is believed that he died at the age of 84 in Achaia. Soon after the martyrdom of Paul. So as soon as Paul was martyred, it's believed that he died. All right. This section here now is just talking about.
But
yes.
you send after that you send the
information
in the camera.
Oh, you mean send my information? Yes, no problem. We send the information to you. It's just introduction.
Yes.
All right. This is just the ancient Syrian, just about two possible places where Luke may have come from. And we're not going into much of this.
I know probably it's not a part of this class, but I would like you said Paul was a martyr. That means he was killed.
Yes.
How he was killed.
Good question. That's a good question. I know I can't give you a full. Alright. We know that Paul was in, according to Acts 26, verse 26, 28, that he was in prison, right?
Yes.
He, 2 times, he faced
beating.
But that's a norm for Paul, being beaten and all that. But while he was in prison, we know that he's not well. He was beheaded, or he just died of
natural cause.
I'm just trying to bring back that in mind right now. But what we do is we just look at in our next class. So we have a class after 9:30. So we just look at that just to make sure.
Yes,
All right. All right. So the end of Luke gave rise to the start of what is called the beginning of Acts.
Yes.
All right. So the book of Luke, when you look at the book of Luke, the ending part of the book of Luke gave rise to the beginning of Acts. And Luke, like the book of Genesis, meaning the beginning. The word Genesis, we know that means beginning. Acts is also the book of beginning. Beginning of what? For example, it talks about the resurrection of Christ. It's being preached according to Acts chapter 2 from 2 verse 14 to 36. In other words, it gives rise to another beginning. It talks about the start of the church. Start of the church starts in the book of Acts chapter 2.
Verse 14 to 36.
All right. So the book of Acts gives us the start of many events. Yeah. All right. The disciples were told to preach to the end of the earth, according to Acts chapter 1 and verse number 8. Jesus made sure to tell them that they need to do so. The persecution of the church started in the book of Acts chapter 4, chapter 5, started the church. Remember, the church just started in the book of Acts chapter 2. Right? And then, the Christ started to add to the church as many as would be saved. So we had what? We had 3,000 in the book of Acts chapter 2. About 3,000 souls were added to the church. In Acts chapter 4, 4,000. And you can name it. Many individuals were being added to the church. And at the same time, while these individuals were being added to the church, persecution started. They were being persecuted. Yeah. Right? Acts chapter 4 tells us that pick up from verse number 10. Acts chapter 4, pick up from verse number 10. We'll see where the Sanhedrin Council. You have it? Read. Yes. Be from verse number 10. Start from verse number 10.
Let it be 1 3 hour and turn the people of Israel that by the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, who you crucified from God, raised from the dead. Yes. This man stand here before your word.
This is the stone which was rejected by the builders, which has become what? The head cornerstone. Neither is there salvation in any other. For there is what? No other name under heaven given among men by which we must be saved. No, then they saw the boldness. What is happening is that they were persecuting what? The apostles, because they were doing what? Preaching Christ. Yes. They were preaching Jesus Christ. Right? So now they saw the boldness of Peter and John. And they remember in Acts chapter 3, the miracle that they did when they were entering to the temple, passing through the gate, which is called Beautiful, and this beggar which was placed there in the gate of Beautiful every morning to beg, saw Peter and John entering, and he stretched out his hand begging, and Peter and John looked at him, and based on how they looked at him, he expected that he was going to receive something, and Peter said, "Silver and gold have I none, but such I have, I give unto you. Rise, get up, and walk." And they helped him, and he got up and walked, and which was a gift. And because of that, the Sanhedrin Council came down at him, because they were doing what? They were preaching and doing wonderful signs, and the people in Jerusalem were all believing and accepting this. No, the council have a problem with this because they are saying that you are preaching and bringing the blood of this man on us, which is what Peter was now saying. All right. So here is it now that they were being what? Yes.
One of them, Paul, have to meet. So when you say the Jews, Jesus, dead, yeah. One day, okay, Jesus to earth. He say all people he died. Last day he is up. He is up for the he is up for the resurrection.
I'm not following the point well what you're saying. You said Paul, something about Paul. What were you saying about Paul?
So I say when I look at the book of Acts.
Yes.
So Paul received many problems.
Yes. Yes.
So sometimes it goes to he have problem to Jews. He go
probably with the Jews because they didn't believe him.
Yeah, in the prison.
Yes, they beat him, dragged him out the city.
Yeah.
Doing yes, that's right.
The books of Acts.
Mm-hmm.
When you read the book of Acts, you see is a very good books, but when you look at the life of Paul, as a Christian, in Jamaica, save your heart to save, because Paul passed many of difficulty to save Paul.
Okay, so you're saying that Paul was saved trying to put together what you were saying. I know you're saying that he had gone through a lot of problems, a lot of persecution with the Jews, and so on. But I still didn't get the last part of what you're saying. But anyway, let us go on. I know you're still learning our language and they are trying to learn to communicate properly so that we don't have any misunderstanding in class. Alright. But I get so far what you're saying that Paul had been going through some problems. Persecution, a lot of troubles, and so on. Alright? If you turn to Acts chapter 5, just to show you some of the examples that the church was going through, Acts chapter 5, verse 8, 17, it says, and the high priest rose up, and all they that were with him, which is the sect of Sadducees, and were filled with indignation, and they laid their hands on the apostles and put them in the common prison. The apostles were going through some persecution. Why? Because they were preaching Jesus Christ raised from the dead. Yeah. Now we know that the Sadducees do not believe in the resurrection, nor in angels, nor in spirits. But the Pharisees do. And the Sadducees raised up against it because of what they were saying. They were teaching and preaching the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And they don't believe in the resurrection of Jesus Christ. So they laid their hands on them and praised him. So I'm just saying that persecution, the church was going through certain persecution. We're going to be seeing a lot of that in the book of Acts. We're going to see where the church started. We're going to see where the church started to go through certain persecution. In Acts chapter 6, from chapter 7, chapter 8 talks about when the church had a major problem. In Acts chapter 8 and verse number 1, it says, "No, and Saul was what? Consenting unto his death." Now, chapter 7 tells us that Stephen rose up now and started to preach Jesus Christ. And the Jews didn't like what they were hearing. They dragged him and they stoned him. Paul was there, consenting to the death. And at that time, there was a great persecution against the church, which was at Jerusalem, and they were all scattered abroad throughout the region of Judea, Samaria, except the apostles. Who were scattered?
People.
Who were they? Who were the people who were scattered?
The Jews.
The Jews? Yeah. Come on,
yeah.
And Saul was what? Consenting unto his death. And at that time there arose great persecution against the church. Who was added to the church? Who was added to the church? Verse 1 of Acts chapter 8. Who was added to the church?
Because it was some people.
In Acts chapter 2 and verse number 41, it says, Then they that gladly received his words were baptized, and the same day they were added unto them about 3,000 souls. Who were they that were added to the church? And they continue steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine. Who continue steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine?
The apostles.
They continue steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine. Who continue steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine?
The people.
Who were the people? What were they called when they were added to the church?
Christians.
Thank you very much.
Christians.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. They were Christians who were added to the church.
So they were Gentiles before?
No. They were all Jews. Remember, they are preaching to the Jews. Even though Gentiles were there, Jews were the ones who were accepting the gospel. All right? So in Acts 8, at that time, there was what? A great persecution against the church. Who are the church? Who is the church?
Us.
Us. And us are
Christians.
Christians. which was at Jerusalem. So Christians were in Jerusalem at that time, and a great persecution arose, and they were all scattered. Who was scattered?
Christians.
Christians were scattered abroad throughout the region of Judea and Samaria, except the apostles. Gentlemen, our time has expired. We will pick up at 9:30. Thank you very much.